Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari inaugurate emergency landing field on National Highway 925 in Barmer of Rajasthan. Emergency landing field instills confidence and proves the readiness of India to protect its sovereignty and integrity, says Defence Minister. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to chair 13th BRICS Summit today. India says use of Afghan soil to promote terrorism in any manner by any country is unacceptable. Over 71 crore 65 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate in the country stands at 97.48%. In Kerala, so far test results of 61 persons for Nipah virus infection found negative. Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin 2021 to be launched under Swachh Bharat Mission Phase 2 today. In US Open Tennis, number 1 Novak Djokovic inches closer to a calendar Grand Slam as he reaches semi-finals. Alexander Zverev also enters the men's semi-finals. In women's singles, British Emma Raducanu to play with Greek Maria Sakkari in semi-finals today. In the other semi-final, Canadian Leylah Fernandez to meet Aryna Sabalenka of Belarus tomorrow. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is underway, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that India is always ready to protect its unity and sovereignty and it has the ability to face any challenge. He said the country has full faith in its forces. Mr. Singh and Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari inaugurated the Emergency Landing Field ELF on National Highway 925 at Gandhav Bhakasar section in Barmer in Rajasthan today. Speaking on the occasion, the Defence Minister said the emergency landing field in the country not only creates enthusiasm but also develops a sense of security as it plays an important role in wartime.
आज देश आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहा है। साथ ही 1971 का युद्ध जिसमें हम लोगों ने विजय हासिल की थी उसका यह स्वर्णिम वर्ष भी यह देश मना रहा है और आज जहां पर खड़े होकर हम अपना विचार व्यक्त कर रहे हैं यह स्थान भी 1971 की विजय का यह साक्षी रहा है और ऐसे में इमरजेंसी लैंडिंग फील्ड का निर्माण मन में तो उत्साह पैदा करता ही है, साथ ही सुरक्षा के प्रति भी मन के अंदर एक विश्वास का भाव पैदा करता है, एक सेंस ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस पैदा करता है और इंटरनेशनल बॉर्डर से कुछ ही कदम दूर इस प्रकार की इमरजेंसी लैंडिंग फील्ड का तैयार होना यह सिद्ध कर दिया है कि भारत अपनी एकता, संप्रभुता और अखंडता की रक्षा के लिए सदैव तैयार है और किसी भी चुनौती का सामना करने की भारत के अंदर एक कुवत है। यह संदेश भी हमने स्पष्ट रूप से दे दिया है।
Mr. Singh said ELF also plays a key role during natural disasters. He said the Indian forces have played an important role during the COVID pandemic. He said continuous efforts are being made to increase the operational capacity of our forces.
3 किलोमीटर का यह स्ट्रेच है और 19 माह के अंदर तैयार हुआ है कोविड के बावजूद, जबकि सारा हिंदुस्तान कुछ समय के लिए रुक गया था, सारे कामकाज ठप पड़ गए थे। उन प्रतिकूल परिस्थितियों में भी 19 माह के अंदर इसे तैयार करना, इसके लिए जितने भी प्रशंसा की जाए सचमुच वह कम है। इसके साथ ही 3 हेलीपैड्स भी बगल में आपने तैयार कराए हैं, कुंदनपुरा, सिंघानिया और ये बखाशर, और यह इमरजेंसी लैंडिंग फील्ड और 3 हेलीपैड्स तैयार हुए हैं। मैं समझता हूं कि युद्ध के समय ही नहीं है बल्कि यदि प्राकृतिक आपदा यदि आती है और आम लोगों को राहत पहुंचाने की आवश्यकता होती है तब भी यह एयर स्ट्रिप और ये हेलीपैड्स बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका का निर्वाह करते हैं।
Addressing the gathering, Mr. Gadkari described the moment as historic.
हिंदुस्तान में हमने पहली बार रोड कम एयर स्ट्रिप का ये निर्माण किया है। ये भारतमाला परियोजना के तहत करीब 45 करोड़ की लागत से 3 किलोमीटर लंबी एयर स्ट्रिप हमने तैयार की है। इसकी क्वालिटी बहुत अच्छी है क्योंकि एयर स्ट्रिप करते समय स्वाभाविक रूप से बहुत मजबूती भी लगती है। ऑस्ट्रेलिया में हमारे भारतीय वैज्ञानिक ने जो आयरन स्लैग है, स्टील स्लैग, इसका यूज करके उन्होंने एयर स्ट्रिप बनाई है और जिसको ऑस्ट्रेलियन सरकार ने मान्यता दी है और हमारे देश में ये स्लैग ये वेस्ट मटेरियल है।
The Road Transport and Highways Minister said such landing fields are being developed at 20 places in other states of the country as well. 5 such landing fields are being developed in Assam. Both ministers also witnessed aircraft operations on the ELF. Sukhoi 30, Jaguar and some more fighter aircraft made landing during the event. Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat and Chief of Air Staff Air Chief Marshal Rakesh Kumar Bhadoria were also present at the function. Our correspondent reports that this is the first time that a national highway is being used for emergency landing of Indian Air Force aircraft.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will chair the annual summit of the five-nation grouping Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa BRICS today in the virtual format. The summit is expected to focus extensively on the situation in Afghanistan. The meeting will be attended by Russian President Vladimir Putin, Chinese President Xi Jinping, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, and Brazil's Jair Bolsonaro. BRICS brings together 5 of the largest developing countries of the world, representing 41% of the global population, 24% of the global GDP, and 16% of the global trade. As part of India's ongoing chairship of BRICS in 2021, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will chair the 13th BRICS Summit. This is the second time Prime Minister Modi will be chairing the BRICS Summit. He had chaired the Goa Summit in 2016. The Indian chairship of the BRICS this year coincides with the 15th anniversary of BRICS. The theme for the summit is BRICS at 15, Inter-BRICS Cooperation for Continuity, Consolidation and Consensus. The External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has said that the use of Afghan soil to promote terrorism in any manner by any country is unacceptable and the Taliban must live up to its declarations to that effect. The minister was addressing the Afghanistan conference co-convened by the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas. Dr. Jaishankar said resumption of travel out of Kabul is a priority. He said the world should not tolerate interference by external players, especially those intensifying violence at this difficult time. He added that the collective approach should be guided by UNSC Resolution 2593.
Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin 2021 will be launched under Swachh Bharat Mission Phase 2 today. As part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin aims to support acceleration of open defecation-free plus interventions and results in the country. An expert agency has been hired to conduct the Sarvekshan, under which villages, districts and states would be ranked using key parameters. Under the survey, 17,475 villages and 698 districts across the country will be covered. Around 1,74,000 households will be interviewed for their feedback on Swachh Bharat Mission-related issues. Citizens will be mobilized to provide feedback on sanitation-related issues online using an application developed for the purpose. The Election Commission today announced that by-polls to 7 Rajya Sabha seats from 6 states will be held on October the 4th. The notification for the election will be issued on the 15th of September, with the last day for filing nominations on September the 22nd. The by-polls were necessitated after Manas Ranjan Punia from West Bengal, Biswajit Daimari from Assam, K.P. Munusamy and R. Vaithalingam from Tamil Nadu resigned from their seats. One seat from Maharashtra fell vacant due to death of Rajiv Satav. One seat to the upper house from Madhya Pradesh fell vacant after Thawarchand Gehlot resigned to become governor of Karnataka.
Kerala State Health Minister Veena George has said 15 more samples of Nipah virus symptomatic people who came into contact with a deceased boy in Kozhikode yielded negative results. So far, all the 61 samples tested were negative. 64 more persons are kept under isolation in the Kozhikode Medical College Hospital. Over 71 crore 65 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. More than 86 lakh 51,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday. Over 43,000 new COVID-19 cases were reported, while more than 40,000 people recovered in the last 24 hours. 338 people lost their lives during the period. The COVID recovery rate in the country now stands at 97.48%.
Over 70 crore 63 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far. The vaccines have been given through the central government free of cost channel and direct state procurement category. More than 96 lakh doses are in the pipeline. The Union Health Ministry said over 5 crore 58 lakh balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and union territories. In Madhya Pradesh, the number of vaccinations in the state has crossed the 5 crore mark. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has congratulated the entire staff of the Health Department and frontline workers related to vaccination work for this achievement. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
A total of more than 5 crore 69,000 vaccine doses have been administered in the state so far. Of these, more than 4 crore have been given the first dose and more than 93 lakh people have been given the second dose. Efforts are being made by the state government to achieve the target of administering the first dose of vaccine to 100% eligible population of the state by the end of September. Meanwhile, the state reported 16 new cases including 12 in Jabalpur, 2 in Bhopal and 1 each in Indore and Rajgarh districts. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
Maharashtra set a new record by administering more than 15 lakh doses in a single day yesterday. The state is expanding its vaccination coverage and at the same time focusing on increasing the number of fully vaccinated people in the state. The state has the highest number of fully vaccinated beneficiaries in the country. A report.
15,03,392 doses were administered in the state yesterday, which is a new record of the COVID-19 preventive vaccination of the state. The state is now focusing on increasing the number of fully vaccinated people and organizing more number of drives for second doses. Many people in the state, especially people from Konkan region who are traveling to their native places for Ganesh Utsav from Mumbai and other cities, responded well for the drives, as the district administrations in Konkan had made it mandatory to allow fully vaccinated people in the districts during the festival. Shailesh Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
All India Radio News has been at the forefront on raising awareness about COVID-19 among the citizens since the first case was reported in the country. In keeping with its role as the public service broadcaster, the News Services Division of All India Radio started a special public outreach program, Corona Jagrukta series, in March last year. It is a live phone-in program in which top medical experts answer COVID-19 related queries of citizens. Today, in his 500th episode, Dr. V.K. Paul, chairperson of the National Expert Group on Vaccine Administration for COVID-19, will be with us to address the queries. The program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the expert from 9:30 p.m. on toll-free telephone number 1800115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on the Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari inaugurate emergency landing field on National Highway 925 in Barmer of Rajasthan. Emergency landing field instills confidence and proves the readiness of India to protect its sovereignty and integrity, says Defence Minister. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to chair 13th BRICS Summit today. India says use of Afghan soil to promote terrorism in any manner by any country is unacceptable. Over 71 crore 65 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate in the country stands at 97.48%. In Kerala, so far test results of 61 persons for Nipah virus infection found negative. Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin 2021 to be launched under Swachh Bharat Mission Phase 2 today. In US Open Tennis, number 1 Novak Djokovic inches closer to a calendar Grand Slam as reaches semifinals. Alexander Zverev also enters in the men's semifinals. In women's singles, British Emma Raducanu to play with Greek Maria Sakkari in the semi-finals today. In the other semi-final, Canadian Leila Fernandez to meet Arina Sabalenka of Belarus tomorrow. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the Midday News. India will be hosting the inaugural India-Australia 2+2 ministerial dialogue in New Delhi on Saturday. Australian Foreign Minister Marise Payne and Defence Minister Peter Dutton will be visiting India from the 10th to the 12th of September to take part in the dialogue. From the Indian side, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will lead the delegation, comprising officials from the Ministries of Defence and External Affairs. The agenda will cover a range of bilateral, regional and global issues of mutual interest. IIT Madras has topped the rankings in the overall category in National Institutional Ranking Framework NIRF. IISc Bengaluru has come second, which is followed by IIT Bombay at the third place in the ranking. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan released the NIRF Rankings 2021 today. The rankings have been released under various categories including engineering, pharmacy, management and overall research.
Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma has visited the boat mishap site at Jorhat district today. He took stock of the rescue and search operation. The Chief Minister said that 87 passengers were rescued while 2 persons are missing as per latest information. He said 1 passenger died in the mishap. Mr. Sharma told Jorhat police to file a criminal case into the incident. He also announced to conduct a high-level inquiry of the incident that shook the state yesterday. Mr. Sharma declared that now onwards single-engine boat would not be allowed to ply. He said that government would provide 75% subsidy and 25% loan to install double engine in boat to private operators. Mr. Sharma said that the construction of the much-awaited bridge over the Brahmaputra connecting Jorhat and Majoli will start this November once the design is approved. The bridge will be completed in 4 years. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the Power Development Department is going to install 1 lakh smart electric meters both in Jammu and Srinagar cities soon. Principal Secretary Power Development Department said that another 3 lakh smart meters for Jammu and Srinagar cities each are in the pipeline. The superintending engineers were directed to identify priority areas for installation of such meters and were also told to include government offices and establishments in the priority list.
In the series of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations, a book exhibition of important and original authentic publications published by Ministry of Law and Justice was inaugurated in the district judge premises of Varanasi today. The Secretary of Law and Justice Department, Anup Kumar Mehendirata, said on the occasion that for the benefit of general public and youth, especially important journals are now available free of cost in PDF format on the website of the department. He termed it as a unique gift to the students and professionals of the country. As the nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, in which we bring you a glimpse of India's freedom struggle every day.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle every day.
Arjun Lal Sethi, born on this day in 1880, in Jaipur, was a revolutionary freedom fighter and educator. Sethi rejected the post of collector offered to him. He said if he worked for the British administration, then who will work for the freedom of the nation?
In 1907, he established the Vardhaman Jain Vidyalaya, which became an important center of independence activists. He was given the responsibility of the armed revolution in Rajasthan by Ras Bihari Bose. Sethi scripted the attack on Viceroy Harding.
While serving as headmaster of Kalyanmal Mahavidyalaya at Indore, he was arrested and was kept in custody for 6 years until 1922.
In 1923, his son Prakash was critically ill. Sethi received a telegram urging him to come to Jodhpur immediately. Simultaneously, he received another telegram requesting him to travel to Bombay for meeting with the activists.
He decided to go for the meeting rather than see the ailing son.
The life of Arjun Lal Sethi will continue to inspire the coming generations.
On this day in 1943, 4 brave sons of Mother India were hanged for instigating revolt against the British Empire.
In 1942, the Japanese forces occupied the Southeast Asian region from the British. At the time, the Indian Independence League and the Indian National Army decided to recruit young Indian men to help free India from the British rule with the help of Japan.
In late 1942, 20 trained youths of the League managed to enter India. All of them were arrested soon after entry. 4 of them were sentenced to death for waging war against the king. These 4 sons of Mother India who braved the British might were
Abdul Qadir from Vaikom, Travancore,
Satyendra Chandra Bardhan from Tripura,
Anandan from Kerala,
Fauja Singh from Mehsana, Punjab,
அசையும் கொடிகள் உயரும் உயரும் நிலவின் முதுகை உரசும் மனிதா மனிதா இனி உன் விழிகள் சிவந்தால் உலகம் விடியும்.
Abdul Qadir's brave last words in a letter to his father were, "Do not grieve for me. From the eyewitnesses of my death, one day you will learn how calmly and bravely I faced death. You will be proud and happy then." Also on this day in 1918, Shambhu Dutt Sharma, a Gandhian freedom fighter, was born in Punjab. In 1942, at the age of 24, he resigned from the British Indian Army and joined Mahatma Gandhi's Quit India movement.
Shambhu Dutt Sharma was imprisoned many times during freedom struggle. Sharma's team was known as Gandhian Seva Brigade. On 15th of April in 2016, at the age of 97, he passed away.
In 1920, the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College of Aligarh was converted into the Aligarh Muslim University, AMU. Thus, the present year represents a significant moment in the history of Aligarh Muslim University as AMU completes 100 years this day.
The Aligarh Muslim University played significant role in advancement of modern education on one hand and freedom movement on the other. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who founded the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, published a book under the title of Asbab Baghawat-e-Hind, wherein he criticized the British rulers.
AMU produced many leaders who played an important role in the national struggle, such as Maulana Hasrat Mohani, Raja Mahendra Pratap, Ali brothers, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, to name a few.
Raja Mahendra Pratap Singh went to Germany and floated the idea of setting up a government in exile in Afghanistan in 1915. This was the first exiled government, a revolutionary step that remains a footnote in the history of freedom struggle.
One of the first non-cooperation upheavals was among the students of the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College. Reports of these incidents prompted Mahatma Gandhi and Ali brothers to visit Aligarh and appeal to the students to boycott their government-controlled institution.
Captain Abbas Ali, who studied at the AMU, was among few Indians who joined the Indian National Army in Malaya for the liberation of India.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar, AIR News ke Sang. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
As part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, AIR News is airing stories of bravery, valor and determination of unsung heroes of the Indian freedom movement in our series Veer Gatha at 4:45 p.m. in the program Parikrama.
आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के पावन अवसर पर आकाशवाणी समाचार के कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में 9 सितंबर गुरुवार को शाम 4:45 पर सुनिए देश की आजादी की लड़ाई में अपना अमूल्य योगदान देने वाले बिहार के प्रथम भारतीय स्वतंत्रता संग्राम के सिपाही कुंवर सिंह की वीर गाथा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said Paralympians are the ambassadors of the country. Mr. Modi said they have increased the prestige of the nation at the world stage. Hosting Indian Paralympic contingent at his residence, Mr. Modi praised the indomitable spirit and willpower of the entire contingent. He exhorted the para-athletes to identify and work in few areas outside sports to motivate people and help bring change. The contingent included para-athletes as well as coaches represented the nation at Tokyo. Prime Minister had a candid and informal interaction with the entire contingent. He congratulated them for their record-breaking historic performance at the Games. In US Open, number 1 Novak Djokovic inched closer to a calendar Grand Slam as he reached the semi-finals at the US Open, beating Italian Matteo Berrettini in 4 sets on last night. He will face number 4 seeded Olympic gold medalist Alexander Zverev in the semi-final clash. The 34-year-old defeated Berrettini at the Flushing Meadows. Djokovic has already won the Australian Open, French Open and Wimbledon this season, and now just 2 matches away from winning his 4th Grand Slam title of the season, and needs to win the US Open to become the first player since Rod Laver to complete a calendar slam. Olympic gold medalist Alexander Zverev has also entered the semi-finals after defeating unseeded Lloyd Harris of South Africa in straight sets. In women's group, 18-year-old British sensation Emma Raducanu reached the US Open women's semi-finals after beating Tokyo Olympic champion Swiss Belinda Bencic. World number 150 will now play 17th seed Greek Maria Sakkari in the semi-final. Sakkari beat Karolina Pliskova in the quarterfinals. In the other semi-final, 19-year Canadian Leila Fernandez will meet number 2 seed Arina Sabalenka of Belarus tomorrow.
Former Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has apologized to the people of Afghanistan after fleeing to take refuge in the United Arab Emirates. In a statement shared on Twitter yesterday, Mr. Ghani said he had no choice but to leave the country in order to avoid widespread violence. He also denied the baseless allegations that he had travelled to the UAE with huge amount of money. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is predicted to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will rise from a minimum of 27 to a maximum of 33 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain and temperature will hover between 25 to 30 degrees. Chennai will have a partly cloudy sky. Kolkata will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari inaugurate Emergency Landing Field ELF on National Highway 925 at Barmer in Rajasthan. Emergency Landing Field instills confidence and proves the readiness of India to protect its sovereignty and integrity, says Defence Minister. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to chair 13th BRICS Summit today. India says use of Afghan soil to promote terrorism in any manner by any country is unacceptable. Over 71 crore 65 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate in country stands at 97.48%. In Kerala, so far test results of 61 persons for Nipah virus infection found negative. Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin 2021 to be launched under Swachh Bharat Mission Phase 2 today. In US Open number 1, Novak Djokovic inches closer to a calendar Grand Slam as he reaches semi-finals. Alexander Zverev also enters men's semi-finals. In women's singles, Emma Raducanu to play with Greek Maria Sakkari in semi-finals. And with that we end the midday news.